and I really took that to heart. And I don't take compliments well. I'm not one who likes a lot of praise, although I don't mind it. And I followed it, and I totally stayed true to it. And I got training, and I realized that you can't just do it. You can't just say I'm a natural and that's it. And I started attending schools and classes, and I really took it to heart. So Jim Sutton was definitely an actor who inspired me to be what I am right now.
And I can see what he's saying about that, because I watched your acting reel on IMDb. Mm-hmm. There was some really pretty intense movies and scenes in there, and there was one scene that really got to me, and I'm not sure which movie it was, but you were on the ground, and some guy was telling you to put the gun down, and you said money means nothing, and I think you blew yourself up.
Hey, that was actually the whole scene that I was talking about. That was from
Really?
Yes, it was, and I think it was after that scene. That's when Jim actually came, and we had shot together about 7 days, and he sat down with me the next morning, and that's when he gave me that speech. So thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, because it was, that scene was, maybe, a minute and a half or something, but it was so intense, and that just proved to me, that you're so great at what you do to affect somebody in such little time like that.
I'm blushing. I seriously am blushing. Thank you.
I got to say, I, too, watched, and I, too, got moved.
Right.
Thank you so much. And that was the scene that I like doing those types of scenes, really, because it's something that people continue to talk about once you're done,
Right.
And when I had done the scene, the director, he turned to me, because we had watched they're called dailies. If you watch anything that was shot that day, they're called dailies.
Mm-hmm.
You watch them. And we're going through the dailies, and he turned to me, dude, and he goes, "Look at my arm." He goes, "I have goosebumps, man." He goes, "That was exactly the way I saw that scene in my head. You did. That was great."
Wow.
That was and I was, this is again back early in my career. That was shot what I called guerrilla filmmaking. We started shooting in Atlanta on a sunny, crisp, 75-degree weather day, and within 6 days, an ice storm came in, trapped me in Thomaston, Georgia, for 5 days without a cell phone, without any communication to the outside world. I was going insane. And then,
I could imagine.
But I know. It made the film look great, because it looked like we shot it over a few months. But we actually shot it over 6 days, and it was very cold. There was 14-hour shoot days. There was, I think our pay, everybody was sharing an $8 pizza. That was our pay. And but it was just so much fun. I literally could be on set like that for 16 hours. Make dirt and be sore and tired as heck when I finish the day, but I'm so happy. I feel so accomplished. So I love doing this stuff.
Well, with that movie and Cardboard Warfare 2 and Kill Zone Extraction, whatever, those are a lot of military type things, movies. How do you do your research for roles like that?
Let's see. I do a lot of when I'm driving. I'll go ahead and I'll listen to movies that have already been filmed, Army movies that have already been filmed that, have, gotten good acclaim, or Platoon or something like that, when I'm really trying to get into a soldier, depending on how twisted the character is and how emotionally messed up he is in his head.
Right.
And, of course, on set we had a guy, Richard Tavanero was on there, and he was kind of our military coordinator, telling us, the way to hold a gun properly. And because you want everything to look real, and the more you know going into a scene and going into a film, the more prepared you are, and the more tricks you have in your bag, just the more comfortable as an actor you are. So for me, anyways, going into a scene, I can literally lose everything that's around me, because I am that character at the time. So taking everything in from the way you hold a gun, the way you run, the way you hit somebody, then take somebody down. There's just so many different intricate ways that the military does their things. I have so much respect for these guys, and I'm thankful that I can even portray them on screen, because they're just amazing.
Yeah. Maybe I should tell my son to get into that type of business, to show people how to use weapons, and that. He was in the Marines. He's been back almost a year now. So.
Listen, I'm telling you, that is. People understand. You want to do it, and this is what I always say on my vlogs, on my Facebook fan page, and whatever. They're called In an Actor's Life, and I've documented every single moment of my start on this acting career. And the one thing you got to do is you just got to do it. And he most definitely could do something like that because they're always looking for consultants, military consultants. And he's not, if he doesn't start necessarily on like $100 million budget film, well, not many people do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he can definitely put it out there and start consulting on these small indie budgets. You know what I mean?
Well, I was just going to say there's 1,000,001 indie movies, that they always, I'm sure they need tons of people for.
Absolutely, 100%.
And he's also a vehicle specialist. He learned how to drive all the different vehicles in the Marines, so that would be good too.
That would be cool, and it's fun because you get to do everything that you learned, the knowledge that you learned in the Army, and you don't have to really hurt anybody with it anymore. Now, you can show people how to portray it correctly, and it sounds cool.
Well, I'll mention it to him. Thanks for letting me know. And I've never even thought about it until we started talking about this. How are you with your emotions when you're doing all these intense scenes? Are you good at leaving it on the set when you leave for the day?
Yes. I can say that I haven't had a problem with being an emotional, because really when you're doing film and television, the difference from like doing theater is in theater, I'm putting on this 2-hour production for everybody, and I'm doing it, maybe twice a day. And so my emotions are always in the character state of mind. But at least with film and television, I don't have that so much. I have, the scenes shot 3 to 6 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, then it's cut, and you're yourself again talking to other people. So I don't have a problem leaving it on set, not at all.
That's good. That's good, because I know some people, it's hard for them, and then they feel it, and it changes their lives, their everyday lives.
Yeah, you can. Especially some of the characters that I keep getting cast in. It would be bad if I brought it home. Absolutely. Even if I don't own a gun, my God.
That is fantastic. What medium do you prefer? Do you like best, movies or television or theater? Or do you like them all in just different ways?
Let's see. I'll be honest with you, theater, I really have never done a full-length theater thing since high school. I prefer film and television most definitely. I really like the way the Internet is able to reach people, though. I kind of started my stuff on YouTube. Like you had mentioned, Cardboard Warfare 2, Killzone Extraction, Max Payne Bloodbath. I did that. That was a short. We reached 1.5 million people in 3 days.
Wow.
And I was actually in Chattanooga just a couple weeks ago because I was in Atlanta filming something. So I was in Chattanooga visiting my folks, and this kid looks up at me in the gas station and kind of does this double take, and then he turns back and he goes, "Are you Max Payne?" And I said, "Yes, I am. Nice to meet you. What's your?" And it was just and I love it when I see when I light up these kids' eyes and stuff, and the stuff I've done on YouTube has given me that fan base of 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like those video games that are so popular these days. Call of Duty, Black Ops, and that. Yeah. Those are extremely popular, and I've interviewed a couple of different people from those games, and they get such a kick out of it too when the teenagers go, "Oh my God, you're Sergeant Woods," or "You're whatever," and they just love it. And walking into it, they never knew how huge that was going to be.
Yeah, no, and you never do. You never really know because you could step in any project, and you always have the highest hopes for it, but you never know where it's going to go. When it does explode, or when it does get a nice, good fan following, it's really rewarding. And for me, I have kids, and so it's great to the video game stuff. I'm actually shooting another video game promotion. It's going to be in the middle of April, another big action flick like Killzone and Max Payne. And my kids already know what the video game is. They were telling me all about it, and I don't even. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm getting my research from them.
Yeah. You definitely ask any 12-year-old, and they're going to know.
That's the perk of doing a video game. Your research, you just go right to the kids. Done.
Right. And that's how I learned how to use my computer and the Internet and everything else, by asking my kids when they were in grade school.
there you go. Mine still show me like things I didn't even realize. I'm like, oh, my phone could do this.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I know why it was $600. Okay.
Yeah. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I watched you in Josh Groban's video, Hidden Away. Did you know who he was before you got the job, and how did you get that?
Yes, the Groves, as I like to call them. Josh Groban, I did know of him because of course of the song "You Raise Me Up So I Can Stand on Mountains." Just in case anybody thinks I don't have a music career yet, so I'm taking everything. And so when they called me up, you know what's crazy is and this is another thing I like to say to actors and anybody who's trying something. I had auditioned for this casting company 2 weeks before for a different music video for a different music group, and I didn't get the role. Well, 11:30 on Saturday night, they called me up and they said, "Hey, you're playing Principal in a Josh Groban music video. You're going to be in Nashville 11:30." So, I mean, it was just, so I knew who Josh Groban was, of course, and I was totally stoked. I had no idea about the video until they told me I already had it, and he was awesome. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever interviewed him or met him, or he's just, and in person, he's like a funny dude. He's got this voice of like this, opera singer, but yet he totally, but he talks just like a regular, like, funny douchebag. He's just like all that. And we had taken a picture together, and I said, let's take a picture real quick. So we took a picture, and I looked like I was about 2 feet taller than him, and he's like, oh, we're not doing this. No way. So he stood on a chair, and we took another picture together.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he's really funny, though. Really, really great guy.
Yeah, he definitely has an awesome voice. I absolutely love his music.
Oh, it was great. We had a like personal concert for like 3 hours right there.
And think of the money people paid to go see him in concert.
That's what I'm saying. I had all the perks.
Yeah.
I mean, I had craft services. I had pay. I had a concert. I was good.
You know, Zach, I think I finally figured out you did not become an actor for the love of acting. You became an actor for the love of craft service.
You're done shooting, because when I went on my first set, and I couldn't believe how many packs of gum there were.
Really?
And I was like, this is a job I must do forever.
Yeah.
There's so much gum. Yeah, it was. But yeah, Josh Groban, to answer your question, I didn't know who he was, but I did not know him personally. Now that I do, awesome guy.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine. How different was it being in a video versus like a TV show or a movie?
Being in a video, wow, it's a bunch of miming. You know, there's no real script. There's no. It's kind of like, all right, listen, you're walking out of this building and you're late for a meeting. You're looking at your watch. You've got to call your. It's just all like. Yeah, there's no script or anything, so you're pretty much, the director will shout out to you sometimes while you're in the middle of doing the scene, you know what you're doing, okay, pick up your phone now. You're talking to him, he's telling you he can't make it, now your deal isn't going through, you're upset. All right, now what are you going to do? You got to tell him you got to go somewhere else, and, you know, it's a lot different. It's more, it's just different. I don't know how to say it's
yeah. Well, yeah, because you didn't speak in it at all, you know, you just were walking down the street in your nice little suit, and then you went in a bar, so, yeah.
Yeah,
I could see that.
That was a fun one though, because my niece called me up and she said, she goes, Uncle Zach, you're on VH1.
Oh.
Like, no way, really? And she was like, yeah, and there it was on VH1. Very cool.
That was sweet.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I'm curious. I was looking at your website, and I see, you know, your film, television, web series, commercials, industrials. Can you kind of elaborate on what that is and what that entails?
Yeah. Let's see. An industrial would be, let's say you're going to go get a job at Sam's Club or Walmart, and they have those videos that they make you watch and sit through. That could be considered an industrial. So the host of that would be. I hosted a couple of those. I did a couple of those for Verta4 and a few big corporations. As far as, you know, training their employees and teaching them different things. That's like what an industrial is. It's like a training video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We learn something new every day, huh?
See that?
Well, your most recent movie is in Tyler Perry's movie, of course, Temptation, and I tell you, watch the trailer of that, and of course, Tyler Perry never lets you down. So, can you elaborate on your character at all?
My character is Brad, and my wife and I are having issues